What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're discussing 3 reasons why I absolutely hated Halo Infinite's first flight. Now, I know that title and the way that I phrase that is going to trigger a lot of people up front, and look, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I get to share my opinion and my feedback with 343 and with you guys, and I'm also sorry that you willingly clicked on this video to listen to it. Okay, it's not my fault. Now look, I'm going to share my opinion. If you don't like it, that's great. If you like it, that's also great. Okay, so here we go. Point number 1, which is extremely important, is that it was extremely buggy. Now hear me out. I know that that's going to sound like a cop-out answer, like a cop-out placement on the list, right? But here's the thing. I get that it was a flight, and I get that flights are supposed to be buggy, but what I don't get is that Sketch literally just tweeted moments ago that the flight that we just experienced that had all those issues, majority of the issues that we are raising concern for and that we experienced have already been addressed because the build that we just played in that last flight, this last weekend, is 2 to 3 months old. So the question arises, what the heck was the point of that flight? Now you might say, oh, well, they want to give us a hands-on experience of Halo Infinite. Well, I would argue that this build was so broken in so many different ways that I, as a game creator, would never want my audience's first experience playing my game to be on a build like that. That's my counter argument to that. Okay, so with that said, let's get into these points. Again, first point, extremely buggy. So what exactly was so buggy that I gotta make this video, okay? Well, first off, I have a beefy computer. My computer can handle things, right? My max FPS on this game, on Halo Infinite, was 75 FPS, average. Okay, give or take. That's horrible. This is a next-gen game that has been in production for the past 6 years, and it's running at 75 FPS. I heard that console, they were getting about 25 to 30 FPS. Now, I pray that this game does not launch in that manner, and I'm sure it won't, because again, this was 2 to 3 months old. But my point arises, once again, this is gonna be a recurring theme in this video. Why give us a build that is that bad if you claim that the reason that we're putting this flight out is to get valuable feedback? Well, all the feedback we're giving has already been addressed 2 to 3 months ago. I don't understand that. I mean, maybe someone can explain it down below. Second point, also really important. The sensitivity slider was glitched. I myself play on a very high sensitivity, and the slider in this game, when I bumped everything up to 10.10.5, did not change in terms of how it felt from the default sensitivity settings. So as you could probably guess, my experience playing the game was not that fun. Now, a few minor points that I'll also place in this buggy category is number 3, the sound was super glitchy. If you joined a game, your sound was glitched. Throughout the entire flight, if I was trying to go through the customization at all, my Spartans would appear to be blurry. It literally looked like there was a blur effect over all the helmets. You're supposed to be able to change the colors of your AI from, red, orange, blue, whatever. They were all red. Every single choice was red. Now, I get it. It's a flight. It's not a beta. Okay, I understand that. I'm not here to drill in your head that I'm so butthurt about not being able to change my AI from red to blue. What I'm here to complain about is that I wanted to get my first hands-on experience of Halo Infinite, and I feel like these glitches were so drastic that I couldn't do that. How am I supposed to enjoy the game? How am I supposed to form a valued opinion on the game's mechanics and give you valuable feedback if I'm stuck at below 75 FPS, or if you're on Xbox, below 30 FPS, and probably even more importantly, my sensitivity is stuck on the slowest setting. So this is what happened. I couldn't enjoy the game for what it was to figure out if I liked it or not, really. And I couldn't give you valuable feedback because all these issues that I'm experiencing, you're claiming you've already addressed. So what was the point of the flight? I do not understand. Also, I'll just go ahead and go on this rant a little bit. I don't understand why everyone is praising this game. I really do not understand. That's part of the reason why I'm making this video. I'm not here to just hate on Halo Infinite. I'm a diehard Halo fan. I love Halo. I started my channel years ago on Halo. And frankly, I'm happy that everyone else seems to be playing this Halo Infinite that I'm not playing. Okay, it seems like everyone else has the perfect Halo at their fingertips, and I just don't. Okay, I'm not gonna blindly follow and get in line and say, hey, this is the great game because everyone else is saying it's a great game. No, I'm gonna speak my opinion. So for those of you that have held off on attacking me in the comments, I appreciate that. And with that said, let's go to point number 2. All right, point number 2 is that the gameplay was bland. Now, look, as I just said, all the glitches are going to affect the rest of the video, right? They affected my ability to really form a valued opinion. But from what I experienced, this is how I feel about the gameplay mechanics. I think they're crap. I think the gameplay is horrifically slow. Sprint is only a 10% increase in movement speed, so what's the point of sprint? The sliding is unnecessarily long. I don't know if it's longer than Halo 5, I haven't tested that, but that's how it feels at least. And I feel like the risk reward just isn't there. I don't feel like it's worth it to get stuck in this long slide animation. Now, I get that people are exposing how to do the glitch where you fling across the map with a slide. That's great. I like to see little things like that. That's cool. But looking at how the game is supposed to be played, I don't think that the slide is really worth it. I definitely don't think that sprinting is worth anything. I mean, sure, you get 10% increased movement, great, but it just makes me feel like I'm jogging. Like, I don't feel like I'm in a rush. I don't feel like I can get anywhere any faster. I mean, I feel like Tom and Jerry. I'm like running in place. I think a part of what does it for me personally is that I am a Halo 5 fan in terms of the movement capabilities in that game. Now, I know that's going to offend a bunch of people, and I just earned myself a ton of dislikes, but you know what? That's great. But what my point is that I came from playing Halo 5 a ton, right? You got ground pound, thruster packs, sliding, actual sprint speed, Spartan charge, all these things. And now we have jogging and what feels to be elongated sliding. That's all we get. Now, a lot of OG Halo fans are probably going to love that, and I get that. I'm an OG Halo fan too. I just don't necessarily like that idea. I favor fast gameplay, and that's why. Okay, this game, if you like to play slow, if you like a Halo 3 style game, then you'll probably like Halo Infinite, and that's great for you. But for me personally, I just am not a fan of the slowness. Like, I don't enjoy Halo 3, I'll be honest, okay? I've never really enjoyed that game as much as everybody else because it's just so slow, especially when I play it nowadays. I cannot play this game. It is just terribly slow. It's why, honestly, all the old Halos feel that way. Now, Reach has a special place in my heart because that was just the game that I grew up with, and even though the gameplay was still slower, you had some advanced movement capabilities and some armor abilities that made it interesting, in my opinion. Subpoint number 2 for this is I think that the map designs are quite honestly horrible, okay? I think that the graphics look amazing, okay? There's a difference here. I think the graphics of this game is spectacular. The problem is, that was another glitch that I forgot to mention. I went from ultra high settings down to the lowest settings, did not change my visuals at all. So, you know, I was trying to fix my FPS problem, didn't do anything. The game looked exactly the same, all right? But again, I think the graphics look great. What I don't like are the themes, I guess, of these maps. I'm just not a fan of one, the way that they play, which I don't know if that's the map themselves or just the sandbox of the game. I really do think it's the sandbox. The more that I think about it, kind of what we just addressed, the slow movement and all that, I think that's why I just feel like the maps don't play well. But in terms of the map visuals themselves, I'm also not really a fan. I think one looks like it was pulled straight from Titanfall. I think the other one, the Mombasa map, is just bland and it looks like it came from Call of Duty. And I think that the UNSC map that's grassy, I think that one is just also bland. I think that it can be more. I just feel like it meshes with so many old maps before it, and I just don't like it. Now, more important and hot topic of the gameplay that I don't like is the outline system. I think it's very difficult to see what person is an enemy versus a friendly. I really do. I don't think it needs to be this complicated, but I mean, hear me out. You have, they decided to put bots on the enemy team, right? First off. Second off, they made them all blue, but yet you have a red outline by default, so, because that's, you know, supposed to be an enemy. So you have a blue Spartan with a red outline, and then that blue Spartan with a red outline picks up green overshield. I mean, the dude looks like a Christmas tree. It's absolutely ridiculous. I invite anyone down below in the comments to explain to me why this system is better than just red versus blue. I don't think it's superior in any way, shape, or form. I get that they want to have player expression. That's great. I don't think you need a outline system. I think all you need to do is look at any Call of Duty ever, okay? When you look at an enemy, there's aim assist, and your reticle turns red. That's literally all you need. When you look at a friendly, there's no aim assist. You have a little tag over their name, and your reticle stays blue or white. That's all you need. You do not need this outline system. It looks like they have some kind of damage boost or special boost. I don't know. It makes the game just doesn't look like Halo. It doesn't look like Halo when everyone looks like they have some kind of special shield on them. And more importantly, this outline is blocking me personally from seeing when I am about to break someone's shields. I can't tell. Like, if I see a guy that I have not been shooting, let's say he was shot twice by my teammate and I'm just now seeing him, I can't tell if he's been shot at all. I mean, there's no indication of the shields breaking because you have this outline on him. I mean, imagine making the outline yellow. Could you imagine that? It'd be horrible. I mean, but still, red mixes with the yellow and it's just as bad in my opinion. You can't tell. Especially when you factor in an overshield. Oh my gosh, you have no idea. You cannot tell anything. Now, to cover the guns a little bit, I did not enjoy any weapon in this game, including the pistol that everyone is praising right now. I think that the pistol is the best gun in this game, and that should tell you something. The pulse carbine is hot garbage. The commando rifle does not belong in Halo. Okay, when I think of Halo, when anyone thinks of Halo, typically what comes to mind is pacing shots and landing those shots. It comes down to, can you pace your shots and land your shots doing so in an accurate manner, right? The commando rifle just throws that completely out of the window. It's basically like the SAW, and why a lot of people don't like the SAW, in that close range, if you have the commando rifle, you're going to win because you do way more damage, it shoots way too fast, and it's like easy kill mode. There's no DMR, there's no carbine. It's basically, you want something that's medium range, okay, you get the BR. If you want something else, then you go with the pistol. And maybe that's going to change when we get an actual beta, but again, this is me just covering my critique of the first flight, okay? I get that this might not be the full game. I really hope it's not. I hope we have a lot more weapons to come, and I'm sure we do. But my experience with this current sandbox was just just hot garbage in terms of the weapon variety and how they performed. All right, and final point here is kind of what I already addressed at the beginning of the video. I feel like I got an inaccurate representation of how this game is supposed to be played. Part of that is certainly because this was against bots and I just felt bored. I mean, literally, I was getting bored mid-match against bots and just this game because I'm running around, I don't see anybody, and you know, again, maybe I'm wrong about the sandbox and maybe it's just gonna play completely different against real players, but to me, it just feels so slow. I feel like I'm walking / jogging around the map trying to find people. I don't find anyone. I feel slow because of that, and I get bored, and that's what happened. I'm just being honest. With that said, the more important reason why I did not get an accurate representation of how this game is supposed to be played or a good feeling about it is because this was an old build, and I'm gonna go on this rant a little bit again. Why give me a build and then tell me that the reason you're giving me this build is to gather valuable feedback about glitches, and then after it concludes, you reveal that probably 75% of these glitches have already been taken care of prior to us even touching this build. And again, if you then retreat to the argument that the reason they gave us this build was just to get our hands on a Halo Infinite, I would argue that this was a horrific build to do so. I don't think that your first experience with a game should be against bots. I don't think it should be on one game mode with one map on one day. I know we got 3 maps by the end of the weekend, but you have limited maps, limited game modes. You have 2 game modes, 4v4 against bots, which is not fun, or you can go play against bots by yourself in the academy, which is even less fun. Think back to when you betaed Halo Reach, okay? When you got to beta Invasion 4v4, I mean, just Invasion itself, my mind was blown. I think everyone's mind was blown about how just amazing that game mode played. Halo Reach is an example of how to really just nail a first impression, all right? And that's the whole moral of this story, is that first impressions are very, very important. And so to end this video, the ending point is that I'm now, because of this first experience I got, I'm concerned with how the game is going to release. I'm concerned that this quote-unquote beta flight, whatever you want to call it, I know it's a flight, technically. I'm concerned that this turned off a lot of people from even considering playing the game when it comes out. Now, I could be completely wrong about that assumption, but that's just my concern. I'm also concerned that the game is not going to be complete. Had I not seen that tweet from Sketch saying that majority of these issues we experienced in the flight have already been fixed because this build is 2 to 3 months old, I would still be sitting here thinking, man, this game, there's no way it's going to launch in a good condition because right now there is an infinite amount of bugs in Halo Infinite. But hey, that's my opinion. That's all my opinions in a jumbled video. I hope you enjoyed. If you disagree with me, because you probably do, comment below. I'm interested to see your opinion. And if you got this far, thank you for listening to mine. That's truly shocking and truly an accomplishment. All right, guys, take it easy. Peace.